Players, game number 2, counter underway. Don't get too excited yet, John. You'll be interested to hear the prizes. They're decent. I'll give them that. They're decent prizes, I guess. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what the players and the people think.
We'll let you do the intros, and I'll get into that.
Yes, indeed. And we'll be having a lot bigger prizes coming in the future, guys. Just to let you know. So first,
something.
Spawning over here as the pink Zerg, winning game number 1. Looking to hopefully win game number 2, and if you can, game number 3 and get out of here with the win is going to be many people. And his opponent, loser of match number 1, is going to be looking to get back into this matchup, is going to be the Teal Protoss of Juicy Fruit. So, Han, you want to go ahead with a little bit of an announcement?
So, here we go. Prize part number 1 is said player will get coaching from one caster named Nursky. Nursky's a very good coach. I've been there, I've helped him, actually. When I don't cheese someone, I actually play serious. So if many people wins, maybe he's got some questions. Nursky's very good at the game, and we also have a few other resources we could bring in for other players, so that's a good prize. And prize number 2 for winner is a basically it sounds like I'm not saying guaranteed, but trip into VPGamers where we have the wonderful new pro team, which will be making waves at MLG Anaheim.
Yep, we do have our pro team. If you guys actually watching this tournament aren't that familiar with VPGamers, we have a pro team that is going to be traveling to MLG Anaheim. I believe we're sending our entire pro team, which is 10 players. Including some of the likes that you guys may have heard, like Pain User and HD Starcraft is trying to make a bit into some of the player perspective of it. He is a pretty good player, actually, trying to move into playing a little more often on top of the casting stuff he does for IGN. Pain User still looking to be involved as a player besides his casting at IGN, and those two will be there along with a lot of our other players. We're going to be having VP Chance just won the Amateur Tactic 3D Open. He'll be going to MLG Anaheim, and then a bunch of our other team, VP Frisky, Suppy, a bunch of Grandmasters level players are going to be going. So, really interesting stuff coming up for VP, but some good prizes for these guys. Coaching with me, if there's any questions I can't answer, I've got more than enough Masters level players and Grandmasters level players in VP to pull from to help these guys out with the coaching stuff. And possible invite into VPGamers, so great things to have prizes, you right?
Yeah, I love prizes. And I do like what Yoshi's doing here. We got the Forge FE, and you know what? I like it. I like it a lot.
Oh, but loses the probe to some Lings. So we do have the pool up, Lings out. That probe's not going to be able to put any pressure on this expansion of many people. So no cannoning business going to be going on for the Zerg. So we're just going to have the Forge FE from our Protoss player, which I do like. This is a good map for a Forge Fast Expand. Relatively undifficult, I would say, to actually fully wall off this front. You get a couple of gateways or cybernetics core and whatnot out the front. Pretty safe walling for the most part.
Oh, definitely. A very safe walling. And you put a cannon or two behind it, and you're golden.
Yep, so we do have a couple of Zerglings moving forward, but obviously 4 Zerglings not going to be able to do a lot of damage, if any, to the Protoss player. So, should be a very good position for our Protoss player, assuming he does go the macro game and it's not just feigning something goofy. I'd assume I'd be seeing nothing but probes for the most part coming out here. Probably be getting up a Zealot pretty quickly over here, and I'd assume his Cybernetics core to finish walling off the front of his base. There indeed does drop down the Cybernetics core. Should be a tight wall as far as I can tell. Shouldn't be able to fit a Zergling through there. We'll see. But
it's a very tight wall, and I've actually done this one myself. The only thing Joshi really should do is add another pylon or two, because he's our Tosis pylon right now. So,
and he does indeed have another pylon going down.
Oh, he does. There it is. Sorry about that.
So if we look at the income tab here, obviously this is working out very well for our Protoss player. Already up 24 Harvesters to the 19 of the Zerg. Now, to be totally honest, if you're the Zerg player in this position, now I see him building some Lings, which I'd question a little bit. Typically what you want to do here is you know the Protoss can't really apply any pressure anytime soon. He's got a lot invested in an expansion. He's got a lot invested in probes. He's got some investment in the cannons. He's only got a gateway, so he's not going to have a lot of forces out soon. Smart idea at this point is just start droning up really heavy. Do what he's doing right now. Clear these rocks. Get your third base up. Might have even wanted to consider taking this base up here as a third, even if it is a little bit harder to defend, or even one of these other bases. But get your third base up and just drone really hard for a little while. You don't want to go too crazy. And then prepare for any kind of two-base stuff the Protoss player could be doing.
You know what I would do right now?
What would you be doing right now, Han, besides cheesing?
Actually, I'm not cheesing. I would probably say I'm not cheesing.
So what would you be doing right now? Lay it on us, Han. The world
strategy.
is waiting for you to speak, so get it the hell out of your mouth before I slap you.
Here's my strategy. I would either go to a 2-base air push, like do some Phoenix Void Ray or Phoenix, maybe even Carrier, or 6-gate Blinkstalker.
Both are viable options. It looks like we're going to be actually having a total of 4 gates go down and a Robo, so I definitely think he's going to be going more likely the Colossus route, but definitely not a guarantee at this point.
Oh, no, I understand that. I'm just saying,
And
Blinkstalker on this map...
Twilight Council. So he may actually be going Blinkstalkers, indeed.
It actually is smart, because if you can highlight where the Zerg's base is, where the third and the first are, he can actually, if he gets, just a little vision over there, he can blink down and blink back up into the Zerg's main.
Yeah, this is that little cliff that Hand is actually talking about over here by what's typically going to be your 4th base. You don't normally want to take that base as your 3rd base. It's my Slud Dog team won't shut the hell up. But yeah, you can set an observer up here on this cliff. You can blink the stalkers up, try and do some damage, and just blink right back out, and it's a really long distance for the Zerg player to try and defend by ground from there.
Yep, definitely. And I mean, you can blink it to his natural, too.
But Hand, things are getting interesting. Because we have a Nidus network on the way for the Zerg player. He is going to be trying to Nidus into the main of the Protoss, I can only imagine. And there indeed
there it is.
Goes down the Nidus worm. This is going to not be happy times for our Protoss player who only has 5 forces at the front of his base. Hasn't started any Colossus or anything. Gateway's just now getting completed. Nidus finishes, screaming it out. Undoubtedly, Juicy Fruit is going to be going, oh god, where's the Nidus Worm? There it is. He needs to get that Nidus Worm killed as quickly as possible. Does not want the Zerg player to be able to reinforce into the Nidus, but he does not have enough forces to hold off this initial push here. This could be spelling disaster for Juicy Fruit in game number 2. Opened up so strong, but might be losing to the Nidus. Oh, and all these probes getting caught hand. Now going to be working on these pylons. Wants to try and depower these gateways. If he can get these pylons down, all these gateways will be absolutely useless. Won't be able to warp in any units. Here comes...
Kill the Nidus.
Yeah, it would be very good for him to kill off the Nidus right now so that he cannot reinforce anymore. But instead he's going to be attacking the units and he's going to get surrounded. He's not going to be able to stop the Nidus Canal. He's trying to warp in more units, but this is not the best player for the Protoss player. But the Zerg player actually misrallying a bunch of his units down to the Nidus Canal instead of into the Nidus in his base. He actually can't get into his base. He cannot reinforce this. The Protoss player has an opportunity to try and hold this off. And then he legs, but now he is back. And then...
And he legs!
Oh, no!
Oh, God.
Absolute craziness ensuing here, and the GG has to come down from Juicy Fruit. Just could not hold it off, and we'll be moving to game number 3.
Oh, boy.
Many people up now, 2-0.
Who does a Nidus?
Many people does a Nidus. Many people do a Nidus.
Many people do
Many
Nidus.
people do it. Many people. And that's not just poking fun at his name. That is actually a very solid play. I mean, I've definitely seen it done before. Protoss goes for that fast expansion, tries to turtle up. If they don't have perfect spotting around their base, if you can get up a quick layer, get up a bunch of lings, and get a Nidus into their base, with that wall and the cannons, they've got a really solid defense. You know, a force field here or there, some stalkers shooting over the wall. You can hold that for a long time, really weaken down the forces. A push really isn't going to work against it. But you get that Nidus Worm into their base, and they're pretty much dead because they don't have enough forces to just fight in the open where the lings can get a good surround and such forth. So really smart play by many people. Capitalized on the lack of vision that Juicy Fruit had on his base and made him pay for it, and ended up taking the game and going up 2-0, moving into a possible final and deciding game number 3.